I, 28M, found out my sister, 31F, tried to ruin my engagement because her husband confessed he loved me first. I've always believed my sister had a jealous streak, but I never thought it would lead to something this ugly. Growing up, Lisa and I had a pretty typical sibling dynamic, teasing, fighting, but nothing extreme. She was 3 years older than me, and as the firstborn, she always wanted to be the center of attention. My parents unintentionally fueled it by constantly comparing us, usually favoring her for being more put together and mature. I didn't mind. I stayed in my own lane, did my own thing, and didn't fight for the spotlight. When she got married 4 years ago to her college sweetheart, Nate, I was genuinely happy for her. Nate was always cool with me, respectful, friendly, kind of reserved but nice. We weren't close, but we got along fine. I never sensed anything weird or off about him, and I certainly didn't expect he'd become the reason my entire relationship would come crashing down. Fast forward to a few months ago, I proposed to my girlfriend, Ava, after 2 years together. Ava is funny, grounded, and just gets me in a way no one else has. Everyone seemed happy for us. My parents threw us a small engagement dinner, and all my close friends and relatives were invited. Lisa and Nate came too. She smiled and congratulated us, but I felt something was off. She barely made conversation with Ava and seemed more interested in talking to my ex from college, who was randomly there because he's now friends with one of my cousins. She even joked, in front of Ava, that I had a type and gestured toward my ex. Ava brushed it off at the time, but I could tell she was a little hurt. Still, we moved on. I figured Lisa was just being her usual self, slightly catty, mildly bitter, and attention-hungry. A few weeks after that dinner, Ava's vibe started shifting. She was distant. Not exactly cold, but guarded. We'd be planning wedding stuff and suddenly she'd change the subject or get quiet. One night, we were sitting on the couch and she asked me out of nowhere, "Did you ever cheat on anyone before?" I was thrown. I've never even been close to that. When I asked where that was coming from, she said, "No reason. Just wondering." But her tone didn't match that. 2 days later, she admitted that Lisa had messaged her on Instagram. I was confused. They weren't even following each other. Ava showed me the messages, and I swear my blood ran cold. Lisa had written her a long, polite-sounding message with a clear undertone of warning. Just wanted to reach out woman to woman. I'm not trying to cause drama, but I've always looked out for my little brother. I just think you should know that he has a history of emotional manipulation. He's good at playing the victim. My family always falls for it. Just don't want you to get hurt. That was just one of them. There were more. Some were even worse. She implied I had unresolved feelings for my ex. That I struggle with commitment. That I lied to girls in the past. Ava didn't believe it at first, but Lisa kept pushing with vague stories, acting like she was just trying to be helpful. I couldn't believe what I was reading. None of it was true. And even if Lisa believed it was, why the hell would she send it to Ava behind my back? I called her immediately. She acted innocent, said she was just looking out for Ava, that she had a weird feeling and didn't want her to get hurt. When I pushed back, she got defensive and hung up. That night, Ava and I had a long talk. She apologized for doubting me and said she blocked Lisa, but the damage was done. There was now a crack in our relationship that hadn't been there before. I wanted to confront Lisa face to face, but she ignored my calls. A few days later, I got a text, not from her, but from Nate. He asked if we could meet in private. Said it was important. Said it was about Lisa. I met Nate the next evening at a small park halfway between our places. He looked nervous, like he hadn't slept in days. I expected him to defend Lisa or maybe try to smooth things over, but the moment he opened his mouth, I knew this wasn't that kind of conversation. "I'm sorry, man," he started. "I should have said something a long time ago. But I thought it would pass." I thought if I just buried it, it'd stay buried. I had no idea what he was talking about yet, but my stomach was already in knots. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Before I got with Lisa, back in college, I had feelings for you." I didn't know how to respond. I literally froze. This was not something I ever saw coming. I had no clue. No hints. Nothing. Nate kept going. "You probably never noticed. We weren't that close. I kept my distance on purpose. But yeah. I had a thing for you. Nothing ever happened. You didn't do anything. But Lisa found out back then. I don't even know how. Maybe she saw something in a message or just sensed it. Either way, she knew." He paused. I could tell this was painful for him. When she confronted me, I admitted it. I told her it was a stupid crush and that it didn't mean anything anymore. I told her I wanted to be with her. I meant it, too. I've been faithful to her since the day we started dating. But I think, she never really let it go. I couldn't wrap my head around it. My sister married a guy who admitted to being attracted to me, and instead of walking away or dealing with it like a grown-up, she held a secret grudge for years. Nate sighed. She changed after that. I mean, not all at once. But the way she talks about you, the way she always tries to outdo you, or belittle you, it's like she's in this quiet competition. And when you got engaged, something in her snapped. He looked genuinely remorseful. I didn't know she'd go this far. I didn't know about the messages until she told me, almost proudly, like she did something smart. I told her she was out of line. We fought. She said you were always trying to steal attention from her. That Ava deserved to know who you really were. I was quiet for a long time. I felt sick. Angry. Betrayed. And weirdly, I even felt bad for Nate. He looked like a man caught in a decades-long storm he never meant to create. So what now? I asked him. He shook his head. That's up to you. I just thought you deserved to know the full story. I don't expect you to forgive her. Hell, I don't know if I can. But I'm done lying for her. When I got home, I sat in my car for almost an hour before going inside. Ava was waiting, worried, but I didn't know how to explain what I'd just learned. It was so bizarre, so out of left field, I wasn't sure she'd even believe it. But I told her. Everything. From Nate's confession to Lisa's grudge. She didn't say much at first, just listened. Then she said, "That explains so much." We agreed to put some distance between us and Lisa. We even decided to uninvite her from the wedding. That was a hard call, especially because I knew my parents wouldn't take it well. But at that point, I was done protecting someone who was actively trying to destroy my life. Of course, it didn't end there. The fallout was messy. Update 2. So here's the update a few weeks later, and yeah, things got worse before they got better. After uninviting Lisa from the wedding, I texted her one final time. I told her I knew everything, including what Nate confessed, and that until she took accountability for what she did, she wasn't welcome in my life. Her response. A single paragraph that somehow managed to be both self-pitying and smug. I only ever tried to protect Ava. If you're too blind to see how manipulative you are, then that's on you. Don't come crying to me when she leaves you too. That last line pissed me off more than anything else. It wasn't just toxic, it was cruel. I didn't even reply. Of course, my parents got involved. Lisa ran to them immediately, painting herself as the victim. She told them I was overreacting, that Nate was confused and probably made something up to cover for me. She even hinted that I might have been the one with a thing for him, which is just insane. My mom called me, completely panicked, asking what was going on. I told her the whole truth, not just about the messages, but about what Nate had admitted. She didn't want to believe it. Said things like, That doesn't sound like Lisa, and maybe he misunderstood his own feelings. I asked her straight up, if Ava had sent Lisa's husband a bunch of messages trying to sabotage their marriage, would you still say, maybe she misunderstood? She didn't have an answer. Just silence. My dad, on the other hand, stayed quiet through most of it. But a few days later, he called me privately and said, "You're doing the right thing. This isn't your mess to clean up." That meant more than I expected. He's not the emotional type, so him picking a side, even silently, meant everything. As for Nate, things between him and Lisa fell apart fast. After he confessed to me, I think something shifted in him too. He told her he couldn't stay married to someone who carried that much hate and jealousy for her own brother. Especially after seeing how far she was willing to go to poison someone else's relationship. She didn't take it well. She accused him of always loving me, screamed at him, apparently even threw a vase. Within a month, he moved out. I haven't asked whether they're officially divorcing, but from what I've heard through mutuals, it's not looking good. Ava and I went ahead with our wedding. It was smaller than we originally planned, mostly because of all the drama, but it was perfect, peaceful, no tension. Just people who actually wanted to see us happy. Lisa didn't reach out on the wedding day. No text. No apology. Nothing. I thought that was the end of it, but 2 weeks ago, she posted a long, dramatic reflection on Facebook. One of those vague, self-victimizing rants. It had lines like, "Some people will believe anything their partners tell them. Even their own blood becomes disposable. But truth always finds a way." A few of our relatives commented with hearts and "stay strong" messages. Most stayed silent. One of my cousins, bless her, commented, "Or maybe people just get tired of being lied to." Just a thought. What do you think? Tell us in the comments. Like the video and hit the subscribe button for more Reddit stories.